anything on, this damn thing on, whatever. Cool. So will you possibly type something in the chat just to see if it's working
You want
as
me
a
to
test?
test the chat?
Yeah, just say
Sure.
test or
I
whatever.
can test the chat. Testing the chat. I'm just typing with
Okay.
it.
Yeah, it's working. Cool.
Seems to
It came
work.
up. Awesome.
It did.
Okay, so um, do you remember in Pulp Fiction when like there Jules is talking about um the difference between like a massage and like how we act like a back rub is nothing but it's actually something, and he's talking
Yeah.
to yeah. Okay, so what do you think about hugging? Like obviously there's can be like a sexual hug or a non-sexual hug. You
Mm.
know, there's boundaries during a hug, you know, and there's hugs that mean something more than other hugs, you know. Like
Yeah.
like in general, like there's like a waistline barrier for a hug. Like anything lower than this, even if it's your elbow, shouldn't go underneath level unless like you're really close platonic friends, maybe, or you've
Yeah.
had
If you don't know
encounters or
the
whatever.
person, don't hug like by don't grab the butt and hug.
Well,
That's
yeah, but
a bit
like,
intense.
how about the hugs where they like bring you in? You know, like you go to hug and then
Come
there's like,
here, bear hug. Mm. Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of hugs. You're right. It's weird. Actually, I had a weird experience because so English people, I think,
Todd's here,
more
by the
so
way.
even.
He's calling
Hi,
us
Todd.
crazy people.
Yeah, more so like maybe even mainland European people. I know Hungarians are very like Hungarian dudes will sit next to each other and like have a hand on their friend's leg,
Anybody's
and that's not
anybody's
weird.
leg, dude,
Yeah,
girl,
just
doesn't
anyone's
matter.
leg, just touching is not is touching is fine. And they'll like walk down the street and they'll like be grabbing their buddies and holding like holding their shoulders. And I think English a little bit like that. Like I grew up in a house that was a little bit touchy feely kind of.
Mm.
Um, so for me, I guess my boundaries are probably not the same as yours, although I
Yeah,
have grown boundaries
mine are pretty
because
high.
of reasons. But I was it was really funny. So like this is years ago now, but I hugged someone in the car. Like I hugged someone, a friend, totally platonic,
Guy or
but he
girl?
was a dude.
Oh, guy,
It
dude.
was a dude, and I hugged him in a car to say goodbye,
Mm-hmm.
and
That's
he
different.
freaked out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he freaked out, and and I was like, oh, like I don't know if he thought I was like making a move on him, but I was just giving him a plutonic hug. And then from then, that also like once something like that happens, then you become way more self conscious of your
Mm-hmm.
like touching of other people, and then you get into this weird situation where you like with some people you have a vibe where it's like, oh, I can totally hug this person, this is cool, and then some people you don't. But then you get in this situation like a few people come over and then some you're going to hug and some you're not going to hug, and then you're like,
All right.
is that a snub though? If I don't hug you, it's more because you're giving me vibes that I shouldn't hug you, not or you have in the
Yeah.
past. It's not that it's a snub, but sometimes I feel like I might be snubbing the person.
Uh,
Todd's like freak out. Don't
yeah,
touch
he
me at
doesn't want to be
all unless
touched
you
unless you
ask me.
ask me.
Yeah,
And I'm
that's
sort of
fine.
with him, sort of. I mean, I'm not. It becomes an awkward hug. It becomes a very awkward hug. It doesn't matter
Mm,
if it's male, female, family, whatever. Like,
yeah.
like the instance where my mom tried to hug me, that was like the weirdest shit in the world. I was like, man, what are you doing this in front of other people for? You don't ever try to hug me. Like you're just putting on, putting on, trying to
Putting
seem
on a
like you're a,
front. We're so
yeah,
close. We're
yeah,
hugging.
yeah.
Yeah.
Look, and she's like, look, he won't even hug me back. I'm like, I really wanted to say, bitch, this is the first time you ever tried to hug me in my life.
Yeah.
I can't remember
You
ever.
I thought it was an attack. Like
Yeah, what the fuck?
Actually,
Um,
that's so funny because I also have this thing. So this is crappy too, but I also have this thing where mum would always want to like seal the deal of her apology because like we had so many horrible fights and stuff, and she would try and like seal the apology with a hug, and that's like I take a long time to process and try and get over something.
mhm,
So having this horrific fight, and I'm still like emotionally just in it. And she's
mhm.
like trying to be like, sorry, and let's hug. And so I remember like so many horrible hugs. So yeah, I know the feeling. Like, an unwanted hug is not a
Yeah.
nice feeling.
My friend Dre, she's like a real big hugger. She'd come over in game, and then like it was always just this awkward her leaving. Like I would dread her leaving, and like I would almost try to plan like I had to go to the restroom or something when she was leaving, so we didn't have to hug
No.
because it was always this hug, and it's not like anything major. It's just I don't like hugging, you know.
Yeah.
And then you do that awkward like pat on the back. It's like I'm done hugging, get away, kind of thing.
Yeah. That sign, like, done.
Yeah,
The end.
get. The reason why, like, one of the reasons I mentioned this is because I was listening the other day about a man's hug group, and like the guy was talking about, like he craved the affection or the human touching of a guy, but not sexually. Just
No.
he wanted hugging from dudes, and dudes don't like to hug, right? And it's
Yeah.
this. He started a group and he put it on Craigslist back in the day, and they had all these rules like you can't hug below the waist, and like it can never be like sexual, and you know, and the
Yeah.
guy that's interviewing the dude is like, you know, he's a real dick. It's Rude Jude, so he's being a real dick, and he's just kind of like,
Okay.
he's like, yeah, what happens if you get a boner? And like the guy's like, well, you know, things are just gonna happen. You know, eventually you'll get past that because that's not really, it's not a sexual feeling. It's just a body reaction or whatever. They're just talking about it, and I was thinking, like, I don't think women would have this problem necessarily. Like, you wouldn't have to start a hug group, I don't think. I think, well, one, women in general can talk about their feelings a little bit more, and they're
Yeah.
used to having platonic relationships, and they don't have a fear of intimacy as much. As, like, we're almost conditioned to have a fear of intimacy. I mean, thank God gender roles are changing, but in general, it would be weird to go to a dude, and for me, it would be weird and just say, man, I just need a hug. You know? It would be like way out of my character to say that.
Yeah.
And then also, I don't ever fucking need a hug. not from a dude. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Everyone's different. Like, I guess, yeah, there are dudes that, unfortunately, society is, dudes
Changing,
don't
yeah.
need it. And they're like, every man is an island or whatever the hell. And
There's something about being stoic. You're almost proud of it being a dude,
Yeah.
you know?
yeah,
But like,
which is
I don't
just-
know.
it's silly. It's just some people need it and some people don't need as much. Some people can have a hug and it's like, I'm good for 10 years. I don't need a hug.
Yeah, but
For
then there's
another
that
decade.
there's that other level where how many people will take advantage of it, and it's usually like some confused testosterone hormones that let you want to take advantage of this situation where you're actually touching a body, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I assume
That's
it is.
sad. I assume that's like so starved for affection that even a platonic hug is like gonna get you aroused. Like, that's
That is pretty sad.
alarming. That's
It is
really sad.
alarming, but I don't think it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
I think it does exist, and
probably.
that's the part. Okay, so like bringing it back down to board gaming, that is one of the things I don't like about board gaming is like if we're hanging out playing games, we're associates and we're sort of friends,
We're
and
associates.
we're definitely opponents.
Hobby associates.
Yeah, but we're not so close. Like I don't get hugs from my family, and you people want a hug. I'm like, everybody's different, and it's not really my thing. I mean, yeah, we just had an experience together. But like if we're at a bar and I'm leaving the bar, I don't expect to hug the people at the bar I was just like, hey, shake hands, maybe. If I'm lucky, I'll get out without shaking hands because I'm not a shake hands person either.
I hope that less people are shake hands people now.
Oh, you mean
I think
COVID?
I want to shake hands a lot less these days. I want to
but
shake
like,
hands not
okay.
at all.
Yeah, if I'm gonna cough though, I'm not gonna cough into my hand. I'm gonna cough into my
No,
shoulder, and then here I am
into you.
hugging, putting my coffee shoulder.
Do you cough into your shoulder?
I put loogies on my
weird.
shoulder.
My game group is all family. Still weird when they hug.
I'm with you right there.
That's the weirdest hugging family. So is this a PSA, babe? You're putting it out there. You don't want any hugs from anybody. Is that what this conversation's
This
about?
whole thing is about that, yeah.
All
Like,
right,
no,
yeah.
okay. So
No one hug
if
Mo.
we're,
He's sick of it. Don't touch him.
if we're playing a game, right, and
Yeah.
I knew it bothered you to hug you, well, then I might use that to my
Oh
advantage.
yeah, you would too.
then
Oh, my God.
I start changing. I'm like,
Oh, okay.
let's
So this
hug.
isn't a PSA. Don't hug me. This is a trying to see how comfortable I am. See where my boundaries are, so that you
Yeah.
can use them
Use them against
to
you. Of
put me
course.
off my game.
So when did you
Yeah.
start this trying a thing. It's been something I've heard in your voice for like a couple of weeks now. You say
What?
tryna. You say tryna.
Trying
Like I work with this young
that's an
dude,
Aussie
and that's
thing.
what he says. He says tryna. He never says
What?
try to. He says tryna. I'm
Yeah, I'm
trying to do
trying. I'm
this.
trying to.
I'm trying to
I
do that.
always say
Tryna.
that. I've said that since I was like 10.
Really?
It's not a
Tryna?
new thing.
Really?
Yeah, that's a very
Tryna?
Aussie thing. Gonna,
Really?
tryna,
Yeah.
all those shoulda,
I
woulda,
might
coulda,
only be noticing it because the dude that I work with does that. He's trying
Yeah,
to. He's like, I'm not trying to hear that, and shit like
yeah.
that.
The
So
other thing that Aussies do is they say, I might have, and that doesn't
that's not
even,
weird to me. That's not weird
oh,
to me at
okay.
all. But trying to
Instead of
is
might have done this.
trying to is this thing that the young people do a lot of, and so
That's what's
I'm
gonna
trying to
hug
call
you.
you out of.
That's what's gonna hug you now on purpose.
I'm not.
We
I'm gonna.
know his weakness. Everybody touch him.
No, see, that's my secret. Is actually I want to hug, and I'm gonna thrust. I'm gonna pelvic thrust when we hug. I'm just gonna like try to put my junk on people.
Ah, okay. All
You
right, no one
carried
hug
it,
Mo. I take it back. I take it back.
That's like the best.
But yeah, this reminds me of the thing like that I was telling you. I think I told you the story. Maybe I didn't tell you the story yet. I told Ben and Beck the story.
Okay. Getting my wine.
Yeah, have some wine for this story. It's not a big deal. But I was out with the kids. It was, it's around Christmas. People are all jolly, whatever, Christmas spirit, yada yada yada. And this guy this is an older gentleman, right?
Oh, a gentleman. Whoa.
An older gentleman.
Gentleman.
And he well, I'm trying to be
Whoa.
polite.
Okay.
I'm trying to be polite.
You don't want to say
And
old dude.
He
He's
was
an
an
older
old dude.
gentleman. He
was an old dude.
had
No,
a monocle and
he was
shit. He looked
nice.
like
I'm trying
Mr.
to paint the
Peanut.
picture that he seemed like a nice, polite, older dude. Okay? And he
Wearing a
saw
tuxedo.
Ren, and Ren is cute. Okay? She's very
Yeah,
cute.
she's cute. She's very cute.
People want to say hello to her, and she is a little snob, and she does not want anything to do with them. She's not interested. They'll be like, "Oh, hello, princess," and she's like,
You almost look like
Like-
her doing that.
"Yeah," she's like, "No," she just like clams up, like, "No, I don't want anything to do with you." And then, so she was like that, and then as a parent, I'm like in this awkward position. I'm like, okay, the kid's not going for it. You're trying to say hello to her, whatever you're trying to do. He wanted to shake her hand. Who wants to shake a 4-year-old girl's hand? It was weird. Like, it was kind of a weird thing. But he was all smiling. He just wanted this. And it was like, he's old. He probably just wants to be like cheered up a little bit. He's got
I can
nothing
just-
going on.
With your description, I can see like his old shriveled mouth opening and lines of saliva. Like, like I can imagine.
No, he wasn't that old. He wasn't that old.
When he raises his hand and like dust is coming off of him.
He didn't. He looked like he had a few years in him. He had
Okay.
another decade at least, I reckon. And then Zolly was trying to make her feel better, and he was like, "It's fine." And he like shook the dude's hand. He was like laughing. He was like, "It's fine. He's just a guy. I'm just shaking his hand. It's not a big deal." But Ren was like, "No," and I was like, "She doesn't want to. She doesn't want to." But I was in this weird position where I was like, I have to set the boundary, and I should have just told the guy to like, just leave her alone, dude. I mean, obviously, eventually I was like, let's just go and yeah, thank you. Yeah, Merry Christmas. But like, I think earlier I should have just been like, no, she's not interested. Goodbye.
I don't know.
What do you do? Is it not polite to do that? I don't know. Old
Well,
people,
he
it was
kinda-
like when we were talking about playing games with old people, I feel like I have to be super
He kind of
polite
put you
to
in the
older
spot.
people.
He put you on the spot.
He did put me on the spot.
Like, that's not cool to put you on the spot. I mean, like, as an old person, he's handled his amount of rejection, whatever. He's had a lot more rejection than probably most because of his age,
Yeah.
I would assume.
Yeah. The rejection just builds up as you go through life. Yeah, I don't know. The whole thing was weird, and then it just left me thinking I was overly polite. I should have been like, no, boundaries. She's not interested. Leave her alone. Because he ended up like kind of going like this to her, like a little bit shaking her body, and then at that point I was like,
Step
what
aside,
are you even doing?
dude.
What are you even doing? Yeah. It's two different generations. Yeah. It is. It's weird. Anyway. I was raised you shook everyone's hand no matter how old or young. Yeah,
Hey,
same. If someone's hand reaches out, I will shake it. And I respect older people. And so
yeah, but
basically they're in
yeah, but
control. I'm just like,
I
whatever.
okay. Gabe was a little bit younger than me, and I knew Gabriel, and yes, he was probably raised to do that. But there was a lot of times he didn't shake people's hands. I know this. Don't be fronting, Gabriel. I know.
Those rebellious days are probably all just a blur now.
Yeah, well, I told you about that Mennonite story, right? That I worked for a dude. This is about shaking hands and older people and younger people and shit, and different generations. But I worked for a dude. I worked for him for many years, and I guess don't like shaking hands. It's not about respect for me. It's just that I don't like shaking hands and touching people and people touching me and shit like that. But
Mo's a germaphobe on top of everything. He doesn't like touching, and he's a germaphobe.
I'm not a germaphobe. I just don't like touching.
A little bit.
A little bit. Oh man, that's messed up. Anyway, so
It's not messed up.
so working for Homeboy, I gave him all the respect in the world except for touching and stuff, and I worked my ass off for him, and there's nothing I wouldn't do for the dude. But he came from that older generation.
Except for
Except for shaking hands and shit like that.
That's like meatloaf in my head just now. I'll do anything for that dude.
So anyway, he was a farmer as well as having this business that I worked for him, right? And he used to like have people come in that wanted to work for him. So dude comes in, is a younger dude, is a Mennonite, and he looked, my boss in the eyes, and he shook his hand, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll do this, work for you," And they talked about how they were going to divide up the price that they're going to get for this cotton shit, and they're shaking hands, and dude leaves, and Jimmy, the guy that I was working for, was like, he was so enamored by the guy. He was like, well, you just don't see people like that anymore that shake hands and look you in the eye. Like, I really like those straight shooters. Okay, fast forward 2 months later, boom, Homeboy ripped him off. Took all of his cotton, sold it, didn't give him a fucking dime.
Oh, no.
All that shit because of this shaking hand bullshit that he believes in, like the old school shit,
Yeah.
And here I am, like, I was a slave. No, not quite so, but I worked my ass off for him, and no kind of accolades like that. Nothing. Just good job. But anyway.
Good job.
So shake people's hands, screw them
Gabriel's
over.
laughing.
Shake
well,
people's
that's
hands,
like,
and screw them over.
Yeah, shake people's hands, screw them over, for sure. That's the way to go.
100%. Yeah,
100%.
definitely.
Yeah, well, that sort
Without
of leads back to the whole thing you were saying about the other day, like that because you weren't smiley, you didn't smile at people.
Oh, that's like the worst. The getting fired and shit because you don't smile, like, and don't say hello, or you don't get fired for that. You get fired for some other bullshit
you have
reason.
such a pretty smile.
Fuck all that. Smile, cutie. Life's too short not to smile.
Right.
That's some shitty stuff whenever they tell women that, That's
yeah, like dudes, I've got once, I can't remember exactly what he said. It was something like you'd make my day if you smiled. I've had that one before too.
Oh, fuck
like,
all that.
Who the fuck are you? I'm gonna make your day good. Like,
make my day. Give me $20,
good.
bro. I'll smile for $20.
$20 for a smile.
That's right.
Oh, that's funny.
That's getting it cheap. So today's discount, $20. Big y'all.
Smiles on sale.
Yeah.
Well, I had a slight moral dilemma last night at work.
Okay.
Because of the delivery shit that went down. Okay, so I get to this restaurant. There are people like lined around the block. Clearly, this restaurant have like taken way too many orders. They don't know what the hell they're doing. So they don't know what they're doing. They're just like, yes, we'll do it all. We'll do it all. It's fine. They only have 2 chefs or whatever, but they can handle it. Anyway, so I go in.
It's hard to turn down money. It's hard to turn down money.
It is very hard.
You got people lined up around the block giving you $20 to smile. You're going to try to smile the whole fucking time.
Yeah, that'd be hard. Like, yeah. I'd get a lot of money. I smile a lot. Or maybe that cheapens the smile.
Oh, yeah. It makes
too much.
The smile's not worth that much.
It's not worth anything. It's common.
No.
Anyway. So there's all these other delivery drivers there, and I'm like, this is bad. And the guy's like, look, I apologize. We're really rammed. 15 minutes. Can you wait? And I said, yeah, sure. My kids called me, like I did a FaceTime with them, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, this is a good opportunity to do that. still waiting. Then I waited another 15 minutes. Then I was like, oh, actually, it's been 40. Like, I looked at my clock and I'm like, oh, shit, it's been 40 minutes. 40 minutes I've been waiting here. Like, this is money burning. And I go up to the guy and I'm like, can you check? Like, maybe the order hasn't been done. He's like, no, they've got it. They're trying their best they can. Look. And then I'm like, look, I'm going to have to cancel it if it doesn't come quickly. And he's like, just cancel it. Just cancel it. Fine, cancel it. So then I have this like moral dilemma. I'm like, okay, not only am I like, it took me 20 minutes to get there. I've been waiting 40 minutes. So it's a whole hour of not getting paid anything if I cancel it. Or there's like a sunk cost fallacy, right? It's like if I keep waiting, I might actually get paid some money and then it's not worth nothing. Right. But then also the moral dilemma of if I cancel this, those two people, because it was 2 orders from the same restaurant, those people have also been waiting however long.
Time. Yeah.
This whole fucking time, the whole hour, but also before that, because they might have ordered it before that. Who knows when they ordered it? So I'm like, oh God, what if they've been waiting like, an hour and a half, 2 hours just to be told it's cancelled? How shitty is that? And I have to be the one to do it. So I was like, what do I do here? And I ended up, I cancelled it. So I had to go make money. But I felt really bad. And now I have like a guilty conscience today. And I'm like, I wonder if those people had dinner, whether they went starving.
Yeah, but like for me, okay, so this would be like perfect if I like, okay, so there's a place in Austin that's called Franklin's Barbecue. And the wait there is notoriously long. You have to wait like fucking 10, 12 hours to get fucking barbecue from this place, right?
Right.
That's where you call Uber to do the 2-3 hour fucking wait for you.
Yeah.
And then you just hope that it comes through. And if it doesn't, you didn't have to wait anyway. So fuck it. It was just worth the shot in the dark. So it's probably something like that.
Make sure you have a backup. You need a backup meal plan.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. You got that from McDonald's and you have it ready for you.
And then it comes and you got the McDonald's, you just throw it in the bin. Just like, I don't need this now.
Put it. Well, okay, so by the time Uber Eats or whatever the fuck brings your McDonald's, it's lukewarm anyway. So just put it in the fridge.
It is lukewarm.
It is. Sucks.
And it's often not our fault.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's your fault, but like that's part of the game. I
wonder if these people thought it was my fault. I wonder if they blamed me for it. They were you fucking gave up. You gave up on our food.
They gambled. They said, there's no way we can get the food. We ain't got time like that. Let's order it from this place, and maybe they'll feel guilty, and they'll wait the whole goddamn time and bring us food. And it's like, it didn't work this time. Next time we'll do it.
Because the restaurant's meant to only tell you it's ready when it's ready. You're not meant to go there until it's ready.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Fucking there for 40 minutes. Yeah.
That fucking sucks ass.
Yeah. So now there's 2 restaurants I don't want to go to. If it comes up, I'm going to be like, nope.
Okay, so I'm going to bring up the Azul thing now because I was getting messages on my watch. I was just looking down because I got messages on my watch in the Discord where they're talking about this whole Azul thing.
They're not messages from your watch. Okay.
Yeah. I'm old, man. It's from people. They're messages from my watch. My watch is telling me, look.
What's your watch telling you, baby?
I don't know yet. Let me see what okay, so do you remember what I said about...
Why is this Azul? I know you hate Azul. You want to talk about that? Oh, shit, no. Okay, so you want to talk about this... someone on the board game group wrote...
No, it's not on the board game group.
Wife,
it was on...
Okay.
It was on... Okay, so this was on Reddit.
It's Reddit.
And the guys are talking about it in Discord. Go ahead.
Why is it my story? You've been telling me the story. Okay, so the wife was pissed because the husband took the one tile that she needed, even though it was just going to give him a negative point, but he knew that she really needed it and it would have been better for her, so he took it. And apparently he broke a relationship contract, their board game relationship contract, their rules that they have in place that went against that, and everyone is in agreement with her and not
most
him.
People are, yeah.
And he's
300 something, like, okay, so if you can imagine, I can't imagine 300 and something people who side with her that don't be mean during board games, and they figured out how to use Reddit. That to me is the story. Like, Reddit isn't like this fun thing. Reddit is an asshole place.
Right.
hardcore. I mean, you can go into some Reddits and they're pretty cool and they're well maintained, but in general, everybody knows that's the asshole of the universe is to go to Reddit. It's going to be bad. If
Yeah.
you want to be patronized, go to Reddit and then just post something and they're going to
Yeah.
fuck you up. But anyway, so you had the majority of people siding with her saying you shouldn't have been mean to your wife. And now she's pissed off at him and Reddit's on her side. And the people that are saying, well, it's a game that's mean, they're getting downvoted like crazy. And apparently,
Wow.
what I just read on the thing is that you have people calling it borderline domestic abuse. Like, what the fuck?
Oh,
They're
wow.
going to town on this poor dude who all he did was take the towel. He'll never take the towel again. He never will.
Well, I must be out of touch bad. And you too, especially you. So
Me?
that's
Yeah,
the way of the
my
future. That's the
fucking-
way of the future. And being nice. Being nice in board games. Being nice to each other. Who would have thought it?
Who'd have thought it? Yeah.
I don't like it. I personally don't like it. If you were being nice to me in a game, I would, like you said, I would feel patronized. I would be like, he thinks I'm shit. He thinks I'm rubbish at board
Do you
games.
need a hug?
And he has to be nice to me.
I gotta give you a hug
He has to
for
be
that
nice
last
to-
move. Like, oh, and
don't
one of the
like that at
guys
all.
said something fucked up. He said, I would tell you, I would be like, look, babe, this is what I would normally do. I would take this towel and you couldn't score 10 points, but I'm going to let you do it. You know,
Oh, that's
some
even
fucked up
worse.
shit.
Way worse.
I was like, God
if you
damn.
did that, I would throw
Oh,
it at
man,
you. I'd
you
just
know
be
that
like,
I'm
"No,
going
you
to
took
now. You know I'm going to now.
it." No.
You know how mean I am? I won't
You
even give
will
you the
upset
fucking
me.
rules.
You will upset me if you don't play properly because, what's the fun in that? If you don't play to your strengths and screw
What
the
little
other
strengths
person.
you have, you better play too. Is that what you're saying? I think that's what
I'm
you're saying.
saying. No, I'm saying that you want someone playing at their best, always.
Yeah, what's the point? What's the point of
Right.
fighting something out? It's like, why didn't we just play a co-op?
Yeah, just play co-ops. If you are those people, whoever you are, that couple needs to just play co-ops because they obviously can't handle a
Right,
competitive
but you
situation.
do understand if you play with when you play with Carrie, is there ever a time where you can give her like the deep dick and you don't give it to her?
With Kerry, yes.
See, you guys are a
Carrie, yes.
married fucking couple.
No, it's just that she's the one I play with all the time, and I want her to like some of my fucking games.
See,
And she
That's-
doesn't.
That's the contract they had, and what he did was
Right.
they had signed
So
up
they're already
for
in that.
nice,
So it's like
gentle,
me all of a sudden.
making love, and what he did was whisper in the ear and said, "I'm going to do this to you," and he did it. She didn't sign up for that. That was not cool.
I don't know. Maybe that's the situation. Maybe that is the situation. Like if you're already expecting something because you've been playing like that, and then all of a sudden just like I'm gonna be mean to you, then maybe it does feel like retaliation for some other shit that's gone on that in that relationship. I don't know. Could be.
I think okay. So this is me going sexual again. It's not my fault. This is what they said
It
in
is
the
your
Discord. No, this
Okay.
is in the Discord.
It's
They
still your
said
fault
it was
somehow.
like it's like owning a dildo and like just using like a 14-inch dildo or something and just using like the top end part of it. Like you're not using the game for what it was intended for.
I'm like, how is that? Okay, that's related.
Yeah, that's
Fine.
what they're saying. That's relative. I don't know if that's relative or not. I'm like, they didn't sign up for that.
Yeah, kind of. As
I
long
can-
as
I can
not
understand
a
that.
mean game, like it's very hard to. I wouldn't say that that's really what the game is for. Kind of is. You're really just counting. Oh, who's going to end up with that? Oh, probably you. Sweet. That's fine.
Play the Necroturd instead. There's less conflict in it.
Moral of the story: play the Necroturd. No, but I
Play
mean,
the
even you
Necroturd.
are not immune to having a little bit of an emotional game every now and then.
What do you mean?
Oh, when I was sending all your we were playtesting, okay?
Yeah.
I'm not always this much of an asshole, but I was putting all of your trucks in the jam as many as I could.
You don't know. You were always that much of an asshole, but go on. Whatever you think.
Okay, this particular time I was sending your trucks. Like my main strategy was just jamming you,
Mm-hmm.
sending all your shit to the jam. You weren't happy.
No,
You
I
were
was not happy at all.
Usually you're like laughing and you're like, You fucking suck.
I
But
won
this
that
time
game
you
though.
weren't
I
saying
did
that.
win that game though.
You did. You did.
I
You did
did.
say that.
I
You
did.
did say that.
Hmm.
You did steal the win from me. But
I didn't steal the win from you. You lost, but I'll take the win.
yeah, actually, that's true. I just lost the game. You didn't win it.
Yeah,
Oh,
but I'll
shit.
take it.
But you did say that you were a little bit.
Yeah, I was pissed.
You were
I've
pissed.
gotten pissed
You were
before,
pissed.
but like, I would. I'm not. It's not like I wouldn't like. We can immediately end the game. It's like I do with the dogs. I get the dogs and I like start. I rile them up where they're biting me and they're going crazy, and then I make the kissing noise, and the dogs go immediately to licking. I'm pretty much the same. When the game's over, I don't fucking. I start licking
You're
again.
like, whatever.
I'll start licking you in the face. I'm
Okay.
not. I don't believe
You're
in
over it.
holding a grudge across
Yeah.
games unless it'll give me an advantage. Now, if it bothers you that somebody would do that, I would think I would orchestrate the whole thing. I would orchestrate the whole thing. I would start off and I would say, "Look, man, I'm in a really bad mood today, you know." And then we play, and then you fuck me over, and then I act like I take it to the next thing, and then really get you upset, and then like have it fuck your whole game up, and boom. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it wouldn't work for me because I just find it amusing.
Depends. I think I can find a way to touch your buttons.
All right. We'll see.
We'll see.
Touch my
But yeah,
buttons.
so I don't know, 300 and something comments on an Azul post in Reddit.
Like I
the
said, we are out of touch. That is the way.
way of the
things
future.
It's the way of the future. Gotta be nice.
Have you seen all the Barnes and Noble posts today? I'm sick of them.
What's going on? Like,
Do you know what
they're
Barnes and Noble
selling-
is?
Yeah, yeah. So they're selling board games cheap or something? Is that what's
Yeah,
going
yeah.
on?
They have a Christmas sale every year, day after
Arc
Christmas
Nova is
sale.
$10. I don't
Yeah.
care. I wouldn't pay $10 for it.
Yeah, there's people that have like
that.
a bag full of like 20 Arc Novas and shit. Like they just tank the value of the game,
Yeah.
like hardcore, and all the other games they got. And I was like, this would just encourage people to get more trash that they're not going to use. You know,
100%.
it's just more
Let's prove
shit.
that with Arc
Yeah.
Nova.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Are they selling anything good?
I don't look. You know, like if you're carrying a bag of board games, fucking, you're probably not like on my radar.
Oh God, I hate people doing the haul thing. Look at this new haul I got. Look at my latest delivery, and they've got like 18 games, and you're like, you're crazy.
That's a lot of
You're a
crack,
crazy
bro. That's a
person.
lot of crack.
Yeah, I don't like it, and it's just it's
You
yucky
think it's in
to
bad
put that
taste?
in front of. It's in bad taste. It's just showing off like.
I'm
Yeah, I don't
with
like
you. It's really like children. You expect as soon as they get in the car, they're gonna start opening them all. As someone's driving, they're in the back seat, just going opening them for no reason at
Yeah.
all,
Yeah.
losing parts and shit, getting in trouble when they get home for losing things.
Yeah, and it is like a kid thing. Like, I know, so Zoltan, you know, he's like crazy about Fortnite now, and he's still crazy about Roblox, and it's all about like, oh, you know, my friend's got all of these things in the game, and that's what it is. Like, you should grow out of that whole gloating. It's gloating, and it's not attractive.
Well, you know that you're not very popular saying that. Like,
Why?
you're basically looking at a bunch of crack addicts saying bad crack addicts, bad crack addicts.
You bad naughty crack addict.
Yeah, that's what you're doing. Like,
Oh.
you can't
Who
really
said I was popular
criticize.
anyway?
It's hard to criticize them because they'll just look at it like you're the police. Looking
Yeah,
at the
I mean,
crack addicts.
look, I mean, that's just what it looks like. These people that do this, that might be their only thing that they spend money on. And for a while, I was like that. The only thing I spend money on was board games, and it kind of is now. Like, I don't really like. I haven't got a new PC for I don't know how long. Like, sounds like it's gonna die, and you know, I don't really get a lot of stuff that's not board games. If I'm gonna buy myself something nice, it's probably, you know, it probably is a board game. And so some of those
Something that
people
takes up
who are
shelf
gloating,
room that you get to look at every once in a while.
yeah,
It's sitting on the shelf.
that's right, just sitting on the shelf. Okay, so that leads me to something else. Change of topic. I I bought like a couple of trick taking games, and I
Mm-hmm.
bought buying them because I know that you like trick taking games, and I want to try them with you. And I'm like basically back to just buying games that I know you will play with me, or I might,
Or
buy one that maybe Kerry will play with me because the games that I like, no one will play with me.
I like more than trick
Sad.
taking games.
Huh?
I like more than trick taking games.
I know you do. I know you do. And if you were here, if you lived here, you would be playing a lot of the games that are on my shelf.
So
But
how does that work? So what's the justification of buying a trick taking game and not roads and boats or whatever, something that I would like? So
oh,
why is it
I would
okay to
buy that
buy
if
the
I
trick taking game
could.
and not the bigger game? Or
Because
what
I'm
made
not
you say okay to trick taking games today in
because they're
particular?
cheap. They're cheap.
Just
They're
because they're
like
cheap?
small and they don't take up a lot of room. They're cheap. If I get roads and boats, what's that? It's going to be $200 and something dollars.
I guess I don't
Plus,
know
it's
what
not
else.
even
I don't know
easy to
what funny
get
money
here. But
is,
yeah, I
is
did think
worth.
about Clinic or whatever, but no one's going to play it with me in the meantime. Trick
Mm-hmm.
taking games, I might be able to get somebody to play it in the meantime. Like,
Mm.
oh, I've got this new trick taking game. Maybe we could try it. Blah blah blah. So that's easy. It's cheap. It's easy to play with people. But yeah, I just realized that I'm starting to think like that when I buy a game. I'm like, can I play this with Kerry? Can I play this with Mo? Kerry's taste is like deviating so much from my taste now. We're literally going like this. We're like totally going in different
How
directions.
are
We're
you going
gonna
to keep
only
the
we're gonna be doing
relationship?
that thing, only playing co-ops.
How are
Only
you going to
co-ops.
keep the relationship spicy? Are you
I
going to
don't know.
spice it up?
We're gonna have to go to couples counseling. Oh my god,
Something.
did I tell you this? I think I told you because you were at the game day. It was your birthday. You're at the game day in Sydney, and this idiot goes to me. Oh, I'm glad Mo's here. Mo really exists. Huh? I was starting to think that you were a lesbian with Kerry, and you didn't want to say anything.
You should have high
What?
fived him and said three-way. Bam.
God, no. I
Well, no,
said to
just
him, if I was a lesbian
yeah.
with
Well, I
Kerry,
wouldn't.
I would just say my partner Kerry. Like, why would
Right,
I?
right. It's a fucked up thing for him to say.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like, why not shock him back or something?
Yeah. I don't know. I was probably just. I don't think that
It's a
quickly.
pissy thing.
I'm that.
Yeah.
I'm that person who, like, if someone says something mean to me, they'll like walk away, and I'll think of something good to say, and I'll be like, oh, it's too late. I've got to come back. Come here so I can.
Well, imagine me and the mentality. I've got to get in the mentality where I don't buy things anymore. Like I've got to think
Yeah.
about like not
You're in
buying things
limbo.
at all, at all.
Yeah.
So I'm like, fuck. There's a couple of things I really want to own, and I'm like, fuck, I can't buy them. Like I
That's
was gonna.
whatever. I don't believe you because you just get Linda to buy everything.
He doesn't buy anything
There's
anymore
nothing you want to
because of
buy.
his Souls thing, but like I wanted to get another two monitors that match this monitor and then buy the arms for them so it would all just work out. And now it's like, that's pointless. If I buy it, I'm just
Yeah.
going to have to sell it. So like now I'm just all uneven. Now when I look at the monitors, I got to go like this.
Is that why you're doing that all the
Yeah,
time?
that's exactly why I do that all the time.
Thought there was something wrong with your neck.
Oh, that too.
Hmm.
That too. It's an age thing. It's 'cause my watch keeps telling me your back is fucked up, man.
My watch keeps telling me.
Okay, so I was talking about that Curtis dude. He worked for Iron Crown Entertainment, I think is the ICE, Iron Crown something. Okay, so they used to make the Middle Earth card game way before the resurgence of Middle Earth stuff. So the artwork's all old school. It doesn't look like anything Peter Jackson did, and it was called it was a Middle Earth card game. They probably did a few other things, but that was their big major hit back in the CCG days. So we're talking like 96, 97, I assume. Anyway, this guy worked for them, right? I didn't know him back then. Okay, so just know that this guy worked for ICE back in the day, so he has board game knowledge. Okay, so fast forward to the present, or semi-present, maybe 5 years ago, maybe a little bit more, I don't know. I'm looking for people to make a new group with, a board game group, and I'm trying to get, people involved. Brian's just starting to play again, and Lyndon's playing, and we're trying to find somebody. So I go in BGG, do a search for my area. I find another dude looking for it for a group. Find his email address, write him. He lives in Andrews, where Lyndon lived at the time. I tell Lyndon, hey man, will you meet with this guy and check him out and see if he's, play board games with him or whatever. So Lyndon's excited. He meets with the guy. They go and they play a game at his house, I think. The next time the dude comes over, he comes over a second time the second week. I still hadn't met the guy, and the guy's like, he says, he goes out to smoke, and then Lyndon smoked at the time. They go outside and they're smoking, and the guy says, hey man, I've gotten in legal trouble before or whatever, just to let you know. But I paid my debt to society, whatever, done. Okay, so the guy leaves, and of course Lyndon's like, oh, what the fuck did dude do? So he goes and finds out, and he's on the sexual registration thing, right? And homeboy had, it's bad. It's really, really bad. We're talking like 2 counts of individuals, 2 females younger than, let's just say younger than 13. Yeah. Okay, so we're talking like really bad shit.
So the register actually says what everyone...
It said under a certain age and what they did. Well, actually, there's more counts because each person that he was involved with, it says like things that they did. Very technical, but not like hardcore information, just like technical. Okay.
I think I know because of my cousins.
Okay, so so he finds this out, and he's got a niece, that was in the same house before he found this out.
Yeah.
So like, he's like, this dude ain't never coming over here again or whatever. So, instant ban, like done with this dude, this Curtis guy, done.
Yeah.
Okay. So, he tells me about it. On one hand, the liberal side of me is like, yeah, you pay your debt to society, and, who are we to say what's right or wrong for you to do or whatever, like after the fact, after you pay your debt to society. But then there's the other side. It's like, there's no redemption from this. It's like, you did this. It's not even people I know, but like just being that type of a person, you shouldn't do social games with adults, and you shouldn't go to people's houses that have with the kids over. You shouldn't, like, there should be some really strict rules here, So we were very conflicted about it, but we just, not our problem, done. Not going to ever talk to the guy again.
I've changed my mind about things like this, like in my life, I've gone more forgiving. We have to forgive. We do change. We do change. And I like to listen to a lot of podcasts about, identity and things like that. I'm totally different to how I was previously in my life. We do change a lot. So that part I find... it sort of sides with the whole, oh, well, people can change. They can, like, maybe he's not a threat anymore or whatever. But then the other side of me is like, no, I couldn't have anything to do with that person. I couldn't, same with murderers, same with rapists. Like, why take the chance? Like, we have to be wary. People have to earn our trust, I think. I don't just trust people until they do wrong. I feel it's something that needs to be earned. And I don't necessarily think just because... I think they're like, prison system's rubbish, and I don't think you have necessarily, paid your debt to society. Like, that's not my rules. You haven't made me want to forgive you. You know what I mean?
That's a good point. That's a good point. But like, on the other hand, like the thing that like made me gravitate towards not wanting to associate with him was like, time is short. I don't know you. I don't owe you anything.
Right.
You live your life, but if it crosses my path, I'm going to have to inform the people I'm around. I'm going to have to say, hey, do you know this? Because you should know this. This is important to know. And if homeboy was really about paying his debt to society and about taking ownership, he should be upfront about these things.
100%. I agree.
And regardless of what the outcome is.
From day one, hey, I'm looking for a new game group. But this is my past. I'm not like that anymore. See how that goes.
Right.
But
Okay.
maybe he has done that and it doesn't go anywhere, because I don't think that's going to go anywhere anyway, right?
Well, yeah, it's not going to go anywhere. But I mean, how many times do you do that before it works? Like at some point, it's going to work.
Know.
Maybe there's some
Maybe.
desperate gamers. Maybe there's people who believe that are left enough to believe. Because I think it's a thing of the left to be able to forgive somebody like that.
Really
I don't
forgive someone.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's true. And I mean, not forgive them in a spiritual sense, but forgive them in a debt society way, to believe people can change, because it's literally the difference between conservative being conserving a way versus progressive being progressing in a way.
Yeah.
So it's like literal definition here, not political definition. But anyway, okay. So regardless, don't know, don't care. End up at BGG, and we're there playing Diamonds. Diamonds came out that year, and we're playing Diamonds. I'm gonna name drop. Steve Bonacore's over there, trying to hustle his fucking game. We worked for him that year, and he's trying to hustle Diamonds, and we're there playing Diamonds the first day, and somebody was there. I forgot who it was. I wish I remembered who it was, but he was on the verge of getting kicked out of BGG, like out of the
Who was the guy that you can't remember?
I can't remember. He was just some dude who's a board game designer. Okay. He was an asshole.
Yeah.
But I mean, just an asshole. A lot of assholes in this thing. But anyway, so he was
a regular asshole.
Yeah, just a regular asshole.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he was on the verge of getting kicked out of the convention. And he was on the verge of, once you get kicked out of the convention, you're kicked off their website. You're kicked off of everything, as far as I know. They were going to kick him off of everything BGG. Okay. Based on him being an asshole, and based on the community not liking him and his attitude. And maybe he probably had a little bit of right-wing tendencies, not like racist or anything, just was on the political spectrum of the right, He probably believed in creationism. I don't know what the fuck, but whatever it was, they didn't like him. Okay.
All right.
And he got kicked out. Okay. So the argument that Lennon was making was, how can you kick out this guy for his political leaning, and you have Curtis was there, and you have Curtis
there? It wasn't his political leaning. He was being an asshole.
Well, I think that they flagged his
sometimes
being an
those
asshole.
The two things go together.
They're not mutually exclusive.
Sometimes.
Okay, so let's just say he's the biggest asshole in the world and gets kicked out for being an asshole, right? How are you going to kick out an asshole and let in Curtis to and have a badge in a convention that is friendly? Because I think the youngest you can be is 14, but still, I wouldn't want a 14-year-old around a convicted, basically rapist.
Yeah.
Like, if you have a convention like that, I think that it's...
They don't do background checks on everyone.
No, they don't do background checks on anybody. And if you tell them, like we did, they don't do a background check just because you said that either.
Okay, so you told them and they didn't do a background check?
As far as I know, they didn't do one. Lennon told them, made a big stint of it, and they didn't do anything about it.
Yeah, maybe because it wasn't a kid-friendly thing. I mean, it's 14 plus. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I guess, like you said, it's really difficult because there's people that are like, everyone should be let in to the table. Let's welcome everybody.
Yeah, that's where it gets. That's where the gatekeeping crazy. That's where gatekeeping gets crazy.
Obviously, we shouldn't. Like, there are people you have to kick out of game days.
Yeah,
but it is usually ones that do make a scene and are loud and are upsetting people.
We're basically saying it's okay to be a pedophile and quiet than it is to be a loud asshole, and that's not okay. What we should say is, you are not allowed here unless you follow these rules, and it's okay to put in there, you cannot be convicted of, and then put any aggravated thing. And if you, in America, if you were to commit any kind of thing like that, it would be considered aggravated. And you can't have an aggravated assault, which also means domestic violence. It means a home invasion. It means all these things. Yeah, I think it would be fair to say you can't be allowed here. Now, if you, let's say, made a fuck up as a kid and you stole some checks, or you sold drugs, or you did, something like that, that's a little bit different.
Yeah. Well, I think
speaking as a convicted...
People can go to a convention and there could be these people here. Be aware of that. as well. I guess you can't ban. So you can't ban everyone from everything because they have to be able to do some stuff. I guess. I don't know. If you give this person freedom, they're no longer in jail, then they have to be able to do some stuff, right? Do we not agree with that? So if they're allowed to do some stuff that other people in the public can do, then we need to be aware that they are
They're
out
out
there
doing stuff.
doing stuff. They're doing
Okay,
stuff.
so
They might be
you
out
actually
there. Aren't
host.
we all available? Aren't we all? Don't we all know that? Like we do know that.
Yeah,
There are
I know
fucking
that when I
weirdos
go.
at conventions. We all know that, right?
I know
Like,
that going to a grocery store, but if you're hosting an event, right, just for liability's sake, you should make everybody aware if there is all ages and if that is the case. Now, I'm not saying that everybody should do a background check, but as soon as everybody's aware of something, anybody's aware of something, I think that it is an immediate action that should be taken because of liability alone. And I'm only basically talking about America.
if someone like
liability is
saying,
hardcore.
you told them, then they really needed to actually, I think, investigate it or not. I don't know what this is like a law thing. I don't know American law. Maybe you're not allowed to just do that willy nilly. I don't know.
Whether you're allowed to or not, that would be a hit that I'd be willing to take. Personally, like I would tell everybody, I'll be like, okay, so are you aware of this? Because I don't want it to come back on me. And regardless if it's legal or not legal, like if you have a board game day, would you not feel guilty? Or if they point it out, they say, okay, so and so is a convicted whatever, and it's your board game day, and you don't have anything in your rules that says he's not allowed there.
Our board game day, we would not allow. Like, we have kids at our board game day.
What would you do?
There's no way. We wouldn't allow it.
You just kick him out? I'm sorry to hear. Would you give his money back? Doesn't really matter. I'm just curious. I'm just curious. So. How about extra money?
Game days at $12. Like, who gives a shit? Here's your $12.
I want $12 plus another $12 for my troubles. I drove weird.
Well, like I was on the verge of kicking someone out just because of the clothing that they were wearing.
Oh yeah, ass crack dude.
Oh my god. That was more than ass crack, okay? That was the whole full moon situation. That was
like, were they trying to be like sagging, like hip hop, like or were they just not into wearing belts, or did their suspenders break?
I feel like everything you just said.
It's all put together.
All of it. It was like a perfect storm. And
perfect storm of butt. It was an ass storm.
Perfect ass storm. Actually,
That's
perfect
funny.
and ass shouldn't go together. No, it was terrible. It was not cool. It was an offensive amount of naked butt on show. Was not right. Yeah. So I guess I'm pretty harsh. I don't want
So if I'm playing, well, okay, so I'm not going to ever do this. And there's a lot of things I would do to win a game, but I won't do this. Again, back to Meatloaf. I won't do this. If someone's in the middle of game and they're showing their ass crack, would you allow them to finish the game, or would they have to immediately leave?
Well, I mean, in this situation, it was when they were stood up. I would just be like, don't stand up then. Just remain seated for the rest of this game.
and then leave. And then we're going to escort you out. We're going to get the board game police are coming, and they're taking you to board game jail.
Seriously, though, like I said, there are kids at the game day. Like, that's not acceptable. No one wants to see that. That's unacceptable.
That is unacceptable.
Whole butt hanging out. No, not cool. Not cool. If you're not into belts, get into belts. You need to start.
Suspenders.
Yeah, something. Oh, I don't like suspenders.
Oh, okay. So
those?
Lyndon wore them once. Okay, so this is funny.
Okay.
He had a Halloween event at his house. Yeah. We had a Halloween party at his house. We went over there and we played board games. And it was a lot of fun. And he dressed up like if he was a clown. And so he dressed up in black pants, and he had a white T-shirt and suspenders, and he wore like a clown outfit.
Makes sense. Right.
Yeah, okay. That did make sense.
Yeah.
It was great. So we did that, right?
Right.
So Next day, I go over to play board games, and he's wearing suspenders still.
Oh.
And I'm like, so what's up? And he's like, I'm kind of liking these.
Oh no.
For like 3 or 4 days, he was wearing suspenders. I finally shamed him into not wearing them anymore, I think.
Oh, thank God. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's weird. It's like, it's for babies. Babies and clowns.
Old dudes wear suspenders. I don't think suspenders are that bad.
Really?
But mixed with a white t-shirt, not so good.
No.
It comes off kind of like white supremacy in some of
Does it?
Well,
Really?
Okay, so there's movies where they show white supremacists, and they wear they've got their Doc Martens, suspenders. They're usually skinny dudes though. Skinny dudes wearing basically wife beaters with suspenders on.
Right, okay.
And cargo pants and Doc Martens. It's a whole look.
Right. It's a whole look.
It's a whole look. But
I guess
anyway.
they sort of stole the look. Like they stole the look from the punk look.
Yeah, the hardcore and punk scene. Yeah, back in the day. But I mean, I think they were all trying to mirror maybe the Hitler Youth a little bit, maybe.
Okay.
Who knows? I don't really. Don't quote me on that. I don't really know.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that you shamed him out of it. That sounds horrible. I'm glad you shamed him into not wearing something he was comfortable in.
Well,
I
don't know.
Poor Lyndon.
Have you ever shamed anybody from a board game? I think I've done that before,
Shamed
or at least
from
tried.
A board game.
Yeah,
you shouldn't like this.
No,
bullshit.
No. They're like, hey, would you like to play with us? We're playing this. And I wouldn't play that in a fucking million years. Get the fuck away from me, kind of way.
I have, but not on purpose. Not meaning to. I sometimes say something and I can tell people get very defensive. It goes back to what we were talking about last time we talked, when I said I didn't like I think it was Ark Nova. Yeah, it was Ark Nova. And then and this guy, jumped in, and that's why I was talking about do guys want you to fake it when it comes to liking their game. It comes back to that. I have said things just in passing, I didn't like that game because of such and such or whatever, and it's caused a little bit of a defensive reaction, and then that makes me think that they're not taking this well. Why are they taking it so badly? As soon as someone takes something like that and acts really defensive, you've touched a nerve somehow. So somehow saying one thing about the game, you not liking it, that's for some reason a raw topic. And so I guess I have shamed people and
I've
made them defend their game.
I've rolled my eyes and said, I'm not playing that shit. And, just been like a total dick. And I wasn't trying to shame them. I just felt ugly about the game.
Reaction.
Yeah, I really felt ugly about the game. And then looking back, that was probably not the right attitude. I probably just should have said, no, you guys play, or when you guys play something heavy, call me.
So it's even worse.
I know. If you guys ever get some taste, give me a call.
Yeah, I mean, I do it with my group all the time. They wanted to play Wonderland's War again,
You're no.
And I said no, and I just said
veto.
You playing that without
my
me?
Veto for the year.
Yeah, you're playing it without me. Just have fun without me, and I think that's fine. That's totally fine. When I'm not free, you guys can play it. I'm free this time. We're playing something else.
No, I used to have this rule that we would just rotate. You bring a game, I bring a game. We had to play what everybody wanted to play.
We do that as well. That's why I even played Wonderland's War to begin with.
The first one,
but once
you can't
we've done it once, I'm not fucking doing it again.
I've already done my penance.
Yeah, next time it's James's choice. He can choose something else. But it's so funny because we have James in the group and he is the non-Euro gamer person. So it's you got to feel sorry for him, kind of he wants to play other stuff. He wants to play Wonderland's War. He wants to play Nemesis. He wants to play, Root. He wants to play any dudes on a map game.
So why
just cubes?
Why does he choose you guys to play with then?
I don't know.
He can make another
proximity.
Group. Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would drive the extra miles to play with people that are like me.
Yeah. But no, we're friends too. We get on, LOL.
Yeah, but like you can be friends without the games. Like you could just hang out and be friends without the games.
Yeah. But I think we like to try different stuff too. Like I'm happy about it. I was really happy the other day we tried woodcraft and I wasn't excited about it, but it was actually really good.
Yeah, but look at yourself. I'm not excited to play a midweight Euro that's sort of beige. Come on now, man. Even though you're not excited, it still ticks a lot of boxes. You're not asking you to fucking play something that's way outside of your comfort zone here. We're just playing,
True.
we're asking you to get off the couch. That's all we're asking you to do, basically. But
Just
I
sit
don't
at
want
the
to get off the
table.
couch.
Come on. I don't want to. Elden Ring. Elden Ring, Sia.
Pretty much, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you have time for one more or something like that? Or a couple more or
Yeah.
whatever?
I got
Okay.
time for something else.
All right, so let's see. I've actually have stuff. Some of it interesting, some of it not so interesting.
Oh, let's do the
Uh,
non-interesting.
okay. Here's the non-interesting. Does
It's a
it
joke,
bother
but
you
okay.
as a female
Yeah.
talking about pimping out a game? Like, do you put the two and two together? That we're talking about pimping. Pimping is like a misogynist dude or woman dressed up, selling his hose. We're talking about his version of looking good. Like we're divorcing why pimps are bad, and we're adding the ridiculous amount of aesthetic to it. You know,
Yeah.
like board games aren't the
I
first to do this.
didn't
Of
put.
course.
I didn't, but now I
Uh-oh,
am.
now I can't
And
say
now
it.
I'm judging you. I'm judging you so hard right now. No, I don't. I don't think anyone does. I think you can say, you know, you say "pimp my ride," you say all that shit. Like
Yeah, well, all that
that's
came
fine.
first, but it still falls in that same
Yeah, you're
thing.
gonna
You
pimp
know,
my game.
it's very misogynistic.
But like a lot of words have horrible roots.
Okay, so like
A
Danny
lot of
Brown had this
yeah.
interesting take about the word. I'm going to say the B word. He had an interesting take about the word bitch because he calls
Mm,
all women bitches, right?
mm.
And so he's like, for me,
And
I
he
never.
like he's like my bitch, and I'm like,
Yeah,
oh
yeah,
no.
right. His thing is, and I'm not saying it's right, but his way of thinking is, he's never heard a one of his friends that are females call another female chick. You know, it's like for him, if you call a girl like that's my chick or that chick over there, in his brain he goes to like Fonzie, like late 50s, early 60s misogyny kind of guy going, "Yeah,
Right.
that's my chick A," and like just this
Right.
weird
So that's
thing.
even weirder. Like that's
Yeah, for
worse for
him,
him.
and his friends that are girls call each other my bitch, and like me and my bitches and all this other stuff. So that's why
Right.
he uses it, or that's one of the reasons he says that he thinks that it's okay to say it, because his friends and even his girlfriend, or I don't know if it's his fiance or whatever, she calls her friends they're my bitches or whatever.
Mm. Yeah, that's a tough one. I don't like that word.
Yeah,
That
I know you
specific
don't.
word. Everyone has like stuff they like and don't like and are cool with and not. I don't like that word. I don't like I don't use it
Right.
really. Not very often. Unless I'm like trying to make a funny joke and I think that it
Then it's
works for
okay
that
if it's
joke.
in humor. Oh no.
No, I do it ironically because I don't like
Mm,
it.
yeah.
You know, but I really hate, I think the thing I hate the most about it is that dudes calling
Other dudes.
dudes bitches like that's a bad thing.
Yeah,
Like,
I can
oh,
see that.
you're being a bitch, you're being a little bitch. And it's like they use the term bitch for a normal woman, and then for a dude it's derogatory to say bitch.
Right.
So you can't put
Yeah.
those two together. You can't say, oh no, it's fine to call a woman. You're saying women are less because you're saying it's fine to call a woman a bitch. That's just normal. But calling a man a bitch in a derogatory way, it's like,
But we're also talking about dudes who don't want to clean their own butts because they're scared of being gay.
yeah,
So, I mean, to pick your
yeah. There
battles.
are dudes out there that don't
Like
want to
I've never
clean,
heard of that,
don't want
but
to wipe their butt. Yeah, that was a weird thing. That was like an article I saw. There's a feminist I like, a feminist writer I like, and called Clementine Ford, and she posted. It wasn't her article. It's some other journalist that discovered it because the person that she was with, or she was seeing this dude, and he was like, "No, I'm not wiping my butt. I'm not gay."
That's so.
Like, what?
If we're playing a video game, and they're not dudes or women, they're adversaries that are coming up and trying to kill me,
Yeah.
and I'm calling them bitches. Whether let's say, and sometimes they happen to be harpies, right? Harpies are attacking me, and then I'm saying, "Oh, goddamn bitches," okay? And I also say it when the little gnome dudes are trying to kill me as well. I say, "Fucking bitches." Okay, is that the same, or is that different?
You are not in the world that I'm talking about. I'm talking about.
I know I'm not in the world, but like, how do you take that?
I'm talking about people, certain people.
Yeah, definitely.
Who are misogynistic. I don't know. They don't realize they are, but they are. Because if your insult is to call a man like a woman, then you are misogynistic.
Right.
You're an asshole, and I don't like it.
Right.
And so I do not like that whole vibe.
I can totally understand that, but like,
so no, I don't think you getting annoyed in Elden Ring and calling gnomes bitches is upsetting.
It wasn't Elder. It was Impaler.
Oh, okay.
The fucking little dudes were bitches, and the women were bitches too. They're all bitches. Sorry.
Yeah, it's really tough because like we do say words that are different. Like I can't remember, there was some comedian that was going on about English people being confusing because if you say something's bollocks, it's rubbish. But if
or
you
it could
say
be good.
if you say the dog's bollocks, it's really good. So it's like, wait, what? That doesn't make any sense. Like things don't make sense, and words do take on other meanings. It really it's an intention thing, right? It's an intention thing.
Okay, so if we're playing a board game, men and women all together, and you all screw me, and I say you guys are all a bunch of bitches.
Yeah.
I'm meaning it in the Elden Ring Impaler way, not in the you all are being a bunch of women way.
Yeah.
But is it coming off like you guys are just a bunch of women, and I'm calling the women worse women?
Like I say, for you, no, because I know you. So I can't see you do, like, you know what I mean? I know you.
Yeah.
So I know you don't mean it like that. And I know you're not misogynistic. So.
Well, I
but
try
for
not
the
to be.
people
Of course,
sitting
we
at the
all have
table, I
biases.
don't know. I can't talk from the perspective of who you're calling a bitch because I'm not there.
Right.
Maybe. I already know you. It's too late. You can't ask me. Ask a stranger.
So on your meme, I saw that you posted a meme yesterday or the day before, and you said like this meme is such shit. And I think you also texted it to me.
Oh,
it was it was Avengers
meme.
or something. Like, explain the meme to me. Maybe I don't understand it. I think it was showing like dude with an ass and a girl
Women
without an ass.
Right,
and the dude with boobs, or like he had the pectoral things going, were basically boobs.
Yeah.
He had like maybe small C's, maybe some bigger B's.
Yeah, it was
and she was like flatter.
And she's flat chested.
Right.
Yeah.
So what was the point of the meme? I'm old. You have to explain memes to me.
Well, it said Thanos. This is the imbalance Thanos was talking about.
Oh, that the dudes were stacked more than women. Is that what you're trying to say? In this, like,
so
they
women
decided
women are meant to be fucking what's the word? Sex objects, not dudes.
Mm-hmm.
And a woman who's like, I don't like it. I just don't like the whole thing that women
I didn't understand the meme necessarily.
Looking like huge boob, huge butt, hourglass shaves. Like, oh, it's not funny. It's so pathetic. It's so fucking pathetic.
Well, okay, so one, I barely understand who Thanos is. I know he had fingers and a glove, and things got blowed up. I know that. I didn't know
things got blowed up.
Yeah, I don't know as much about fucking all this shit, and I didn't know who. I didn't know the relevancy. He
wipes out half of the population of the universe by clicking his fingers.
So a lot of people got blowed up.
So a lot of people they went to ash. Actually, they just.
Oh, so they got sucked up.
Yeah. Spoiler alert! Whoops! Spoiler alert!
Oops. Okay, so I didn't know any of that. You know that I'm not like a superhero guy.
But it's like it's that sexualizing women all the time thing. Like, they're just trying to just fucking save the universe or whatever they're trying to do. Why do they have to have big butts? Why do they all have to have big butts? Most of them have big butts.
Right,
One
they
of
just
them
picked
doesn't.
the ones that didn't. Why did they
Just
pick the
pick the
ones without
one-
big butts? Why did
They
they
just
pick the ones without the big butts? That's the question.
it just sucks. I freaking hate that meme. I didn't find it funny. Pisses me off.
Right.
There are
I didn't
some
know
women
what.
who don't have big boobs. Who gives a shit?
You can still
Who
save the
cares?
universe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
So
right.
I don't know. Okay, so being a dude on the other side of like, let's say board game cards, you have cards that have like women that are over sexualized and they're wearing like little armor and then they're fighting or whatever, and then you have pictures that are not like that. And you have like the models themselves that are like feel like this is an amazing thing that they get their own likeness on a card and they want to be over sexualized, and you have other people who are saying like,
They want to be over sexualized.
yeah,
Over sexualize me, please.
they're like, I make money like this. I make money with these boobs, so do what you got to do. And then there's people that they're like, you shouldn't have young women looking at these pictures thinking that that's the idealized woman. So like,
Yeah.
it seems like a very scary place to trot, especially as a designer. Like if I'm thinking about like adding women to a game, or men and women, or trying to do human forms, I think about these things. I'm like, well, are they gonna over sexualize these things? Are they gonna make it where they're just dopey people? I mean, what are they doing, and what's my role in this whole thing?
I mean, it depends on the style. Like, I actually personally don't care if, like, one of the game. Like, it depends on the style of the game. Like, let's say KDM, right? Kingdom Death
Hmm.
Monster, that's apparently got a whole bunch of, like.
Yeah, it's like all metals. It's like old school thrash metal looking shit.
Right!
It's
There's
got
lines
boobs
with,
everywhere.
like, 50 penises and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
crazy. And of course, there's going to be, like, nudity and stuff in there, and there might be big boobs. So there still might be small boobs. I don't know. I haven't looked that
God, I
closely,
hope
right?
not.
But if you went and you were purposely doing this crazy thing where like everyone is super buff and super sexy, but make it the men as well, you know, make
Yeah.
it the men as well. Don't just do the women. That would be really bizarre. Like you've got old dudes and
So like in the
scrawny
Conan
dudes and
universe where
every
you've got,
kind of dude, and then you've got like Conan,
yeah,
where the dudes
Conan's,
are like huge
and the chicks
and
are
the women have massive
hourglass,
boobs.
super hourglass,
Yeah.
and then it's
Yeah,
fine.
so I think if it's stylized, it doesn't really matter.
Mm.
I think that's okay. But it's that imbalance, I guess, of like if you've always got the female characters as that, and then the dude characters are just normal.
Right.
That's weird. Like if you've got normal dudes have normal women, why are they?
Why are they
Yeah.
dressed in nothing and the dudes are
Yeah, why are they
completely
dressed
covered?
in nothing? It's like Mage Knight, right? Classic. It's my favorite game of all time. But why? Why
Uh-oh.
is Arathea just like with this G-string on, like, and boots?
Well, you're lucky she's wearing the G-string. That was a good day. She usually doesn't
Maybe
wear
it was. Maybe that's just her. Maybe that's just her. That might just be her personality. I don't know.
Even though she's
She
fictionalized.
that's her thing. Yeah, I don't
Well,
know. But it's weird. It seems weird. It's like I grew up with this issue. Like when I was growing up, all the video games that have a female character, I wanted to play the female character. But they were in lingerie. Like when I played Diablo, she starts in like a red
say that again. What?
teddy. Playing Diablo as a kid.
A Diablo. Wow. I've
Diablo.
never heard an Australian
Stop
say
it.
Diablo. Okay,
Diablo.
so
Diablo.
Diablo. You said every fucking syllable. You added a syllable.
Diablo.
Okay.
Stop
go on.
it.
My bad.
Anyway, she's wearing a red teddy. She's wearing a red teddy, and she's going in to catacombs with her bow in her lingerie.
She's
And I
getting
was
muck
like,
all
"Well, I
over
don't-"
her. Lots
So I
of muck.
grew up with that, and every woman had it. Like, the Warhammer Quest, Hero Quest, they all had. Actually, there was no women for ages in those games, and then finally there was, and they had giant, big fake boobs that were like real round, perfectly circular boobs.
Did you feel compelled to play female character? I mean, you
Yeah.
just wanted to, or
I wanted
because
to.
you're a female, and they just
Yeah.
did you feel like, oh, they don't represent me, or I just have to play like I'm the chick with laundry? Like, how is that different from, let's say, a kid that's way overweight and he's playing the Conan character? He's like, I'll never have these muscles. I'm just I don't look like this. Like, is it different? Is it?
I don't know. Maybe it did mess me up. It might have messed me up a little bit.
Hmm.
I do have some issues with that, I guess. Like I wear makeup for like arguably no reason. Some people
True.
might be like, "Why are you wearing makeup? Who cares?"
True.
I don't
And then other people could be like, you need to wear more makeup. And other women are like, put on some more makeup, girl.
What are you doing? Yeah, I don't
Let
know.
me give you a makeover. There's people watching right now going, I want to give her a makeover so bad.
Oh, that was funny. What was that on? Oh, there was some comedian talking about. I don't want to ruin it though.
Go
There's
ahead,
some
ruin it.
comedian talking about like these poor mums who are like, oh, it was the Nick Kroll one. That part was good, but you didn't persevere. He was
I didn't
talking about
persevere.
like how hard it is to be a mother. This mom's doing fucking everything for you. She's amazing. She's so tired, but she's like doing her thing and she's awesome. And then, well, how do you pay her back? You all tell her she's she looks like shit and she
She
needs a
needs a
makeover.
makeover. Do
And
a
then
fucking
you
glamour shot.
right glamour shots, and you'd put her on TV, and she gets made up, and then they're like, you look amazing. You don't look anything like you.
I think, well,
Oh,
that's the
it's horrible.
interesting thing is that okay, so you'll have a character in a game that's overweight, a dude overweight character. You'll have
Yeah.
like like Baracho, a drunk dude, or you'll have like the monk, overweight monk. That's not uncommon. Or, but you'll never hardly ever see an overweight woman, like
Yeah.
hardly ever, because you could have straight woman who doesn't have like the hourglass figure, or you have hourglass woman. You don't have overweight woman, and like
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, like one of the oldest
Messed up.
relics they have is of this woman. It's supposed to be they assume it's like a birth
Yeah, yeah, that headless
goddess.
one.
Yeah, the headless one with the big
Yeah.
boobs and this huge the stomach, and it's like,
Belly.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
that she must be like the birthing
The
deity or
fertile,
whatever.
goddess of fertility or something.
Right. And
Yeah.
I remember looking at that and going like, how can you come up with the idea that this is like you have no clues except for her body shape, and based on her body shape, she must be making kids. Kind of what
Yeah.
they're trying to say. She must be a
Well,
mom.
that's not strictly fair. Like, of course, that's all the gods were in the beginning, right? It's all about
There's no
fertility
documentation. It's
because
just
that's
that.
life. That's life creation of life.
Right, but
So
you're also
so
you're
mostly the
also
idols and the first gods are all about either bringing life in or
there's no documentation with this artifact.
I
You're
know,
also
I didn't
subscribing
say
to the
that.
fact that what are women good for? Giving out kids. And she's big, so she must be birthing kids. I don't think that's necessarily the right answer.
No, 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 no,
I
no.
could be wrong, but
What I'm
go ahead.
saying is they didn't just get it from that. They got it from the fact that all of the gods back then were about fertility. The dudes with the dude idols with the huge
Right.
dongs. And these
From
women
history,
with
right?
big bellies. Right, because they didn't know
And
about life. They didn't understand anything. They knew nothing. They just knew that, oh my God,
right.
we can make more babies and we're meant to do that. Babies are
Right.
great.
So let's say we're talking the stuff we know is either from, let's say we'll call it's called prehistory if it's not written down. So prehistory, a lot of this stuff is unknown. We assume that prehistory and histories are connected as far as, okay, so this deity must, like this kind of a representation in a deity must be this further and further back. But you don't have documentation. So I'm going to go with the conspiracy theory that no, it's something else. It means something completely else, or it's possible. I don't subscribe to the fact that it is a birthing mother idol
Oh, well,
necessarily.
I disagree. I think that I think it's probably fair to say it was, considering the fact that
That women give
that's
kids and it was overweight. Is that what you're saying?
you
I
would
think that's what
pray
you're
to
saying.
be able to have babies. You would pray to be able to have babies, and back then, no, being big and
These are a
beautiful
lot
was
of
an amazing.
assumptions.
You're not even listening to me.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
What I'm trying to say is that big was beautiful then because it was a sign of prosperity. So it's not the same. It's not the same
In some
as today.
cultures, and that's true even today. It's true in some cultures, but
Back when no one had anything and it was hard to get, like, where you were relying on the gods for a good harvest and you were relying on the gods to get pregnant.
yeah, but that's
then
one that's one group of anthropologists' belief in um, because I mean, okay, so there's certain societies now that have that problem. Like, okay, so they have larger women, and it is a sign of prosperity. But then also, we also have to take into account that sometimes being large is a sign of, it could be a sign of disease, it could be a sign of a cancer, something that's been with people for a long fucking time. It's just gotten worse, but like it could mean a sign of illness as well. So I don't think we can necessarily
So
say
you
just
think
because.
that this idol is a sign of sickness, and
Okay,
it was
I
to
think we should
teach
go to
everyone,
number
don't
one.
eat too much grain. This is what's going to happen to you. You will
It
die
could
of
have
an
been a
exploded
toy.
big belly.
It could have been a toy in prehistory McDonald's Happy Meal, as far as we know.
Right. That
We
explains
don't
it.
know.
That
We do
explains
not
it.
know. We can assume a lot, but we don't know. It's a toy.
Okay, but you have to put it
Prehistory
in
toy.
context of being big back then was extremely rare. You got a lot of
It
people
depends.
not.
Do you have a society
You
that
don't have a
is
whole lot.
about grain, and to what level would they, were they able to cook it? Like if they didn't cook it thoroughly, you can get, they call it in Spanish. They call it empachada, I think is what they call it. Basically, it's like getting sick by uncooked grain in your stomach, and it multiplies, and you get this big old belly from having.
Yeah, but they're not going to make a doll out of that.
Why not?
They're not going to have.
She might have been
a
a
doll.
a soothsayer. She's the big soothsayer. So this was a Happy Meal from, you get something from the local badass soothsayer. That's that toy. And then you're making a big deal out of a grimace.
When the
It's a
Black
grimace.
Death was around, they didn't make little girls leopard like dolls with like these big bulging blisters and sores all over them either.
Yeah, but
I just don't think they'd make a doll out of
All
the
right.
thing that's killing everyone. That would be messed up.
Well, they might have. All right. I'll move
All right.
on.
Oh yeah, let's move on. Let's just agree to disagree on that one, babe. I think the historians
I'm just
probably
being a
know.
dick.
Yeah.
Um. Let's see. Oh, we talked the other day about the secret life of meeples, right? So, like,
I don't want to talk about this. I thought we were going to make this a game.
okay, so we
We're
won't
gonna
talk
make
about
this
that. All right, I'll move. I'll move on.
Don't give people ideas.
I don't mind giving people ideas. Do something with the idea. Okay,
I
so
wanna do
you
something.
remember earlier today, just a while ago, you were talking about like the dude who put you on the spot with the kids, like asking Ren to
The
shake,
boundary
and then
guy.
the boundary
and
guy.
then ended up shaking her shoulders. Yeah, that weird
Okay,
thing.
so did you ever do this thing? And I'm going to relate it to board games in a moment. But did you ever do this thing to your mom where you had a kid come over, right? And you put your
Yeah.
mom on the spot and said, "Can they stay over?" And like you're looking at your mom, and that kid's over there in the corner with these big eyes, hoping they can stay over. And basically,
Yeah.
you're asking in front of the kid, and you put your mom on the spot to see if she'll be more likely to say yes.
I totally did that.
No
Yes.
shit.
But you know what? Like all the things that I've said about my mom, she was very good with allowing us to have people over. She was totally fine with it. She was fine with it. Yeah.
She's fine with other
So
kids
she
coming
would
over and shit.
always say yes. But yeah, of course you do that. You do that just to make sure. But I think that really, if she wasn't, she would have just been like, no. She would have just looked that kid straight in the face. She would have looked that kid straight in that face.
You can't stay over. He can, but you fucking can't. You dirty little kid. You learn to wash your ass first, and then you can stay over.
Yeah, my mom was good like that. She used to let everyone come over. I'd have 5 friends over. She'd just be like, "Good,
Do this thing. There was
you'll
a
all just
comedian.
entertain yourselves, and I don't have to do anything."
There was a comedian that was talking about how he didn't like to be put on the spot. If you asked him, and you put him on the spot, like if another kid was there watching, he would say no.
Yeah, he'd
And
be
if you'd
like,
asked me
"No."
properly, they would have stayed. But see, you put me on the spot, and it's a no. And he
Yeah,
also
I can
talked,
understand that. I have that streak in me, I reckon.
Yeah, and he was talking about how his girlfriend said, here's all the things I think about you or whatever. And then she looked at him, and he didn't answer, with like, oh, I think this about you too. She said, you know, I think of all these things about you, whatever. And then she's like, do you think these things about me?
Yeah.
And he goes, I'm not going to answer that. You put me on the spot. Like, though you set me up for this whole goddamn thing, you know? So he wasn't going to answer because she put him on the spot. So I'm like, that's like another level of that shit, you know?
That's
like,
another level. Yeah.
Yeah, like,
But yeah, I understand that too. That's like a fishing for compliments thing. I don't like that.
yeah,
That
but
doesn't
like,
feel good. I
whether
don't like
you
to
like it or
compliment people when they're asking for it. They should be, you know, pleasantly surprised when it happens
what if it never happens?
and not ask for it. It feels like it's disingenuous when you're just saying something because that person's asked you to say it.
Yeah, but not everybody wants you to be genuine. They just want a compliment.
That's true. Just say something nice. Tell me
Yeah,
this
just
thing.
say me something nice.
Yeah, I guess so.
So you're not going to give them a compliment, or
No,
will you?
not
But
if
like
if
reluctant.
someone's fishing for a compliment, I have this thing in, like, I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this. You're forcing
Okay, so if we're playing a game and I'm making horrible moves, and I ask you, was this a good move? What are you going to fucking tell me? Yeah, that was a shitty move, or I put you on the spot, asking you the question. You know, was this good? What should I do?
you already know the answer to that. You already know the answer to that. I'd be
No,
like,
say
what'd
it.
you do that for?
Say it, damn it.
What did I do that shit for? What was that?
Really? You're that mean?
Yeah. With you? Yeah.
No, not with me. I'll never ask you shit. I'll be
Oh,
like, what I
okay.
did was
With
right,
somebody
whether you
else.
like it or
Okay.
not.
All right, sorry. I thought you were talking about with you. With you, I'd be like, what are you doing? If someone else did a shitty move and then asked me what I think,
Mhm.
I would still say the same. I would be like, I wouldn't have done that. I'd be like, I wouldn't have done it, but you can do whatever you want.
Okay, somebody's new,
World
goes
is
to
your
your game
oyster.
group, brings a game they want to play in front of you in the game group, and you want to basically recruit this person because they're cool for whatever reason. Maybe
Okay.
they're not cool because of the games they want to play because you don't know that, but they're cool as a person and you want to invite them in the group. They put you all on the spot. Can we play this? And it's a shit game. Like Catan. They want to play Catan. For me, that's not a shit game. Any day, I was like, shit, let's play. I'm down.
Nah, it's boring. It takes too long. I'd be like, nah. I'd be like, nah, I don't want to play that.
At the risk of losing them as a prospect to replace James with? What?
Oh, that's so mean. No one's replacing James.
I don't fucking know James. I'm just joking.
Nah, I wouldn't. No. Who wants a person in the game group that plays Catan?
Fuck you guys.
Burn.
Fuck you guys. You guys don't know shit about games. I gotta say. I bet you don't even wipe your own asses. Punks.
I would not want to play it. I'm done with Catan. My Catan days are over.
Your
I'd be
best
like,
days are
no,
over?
sorry,
Is that
but
what
I'd
you
be
said?
polite about it. I'd be like, I'm sorry, I don't want to play that. Let's choose something else that we're all okay about. We're all okay with. I don't want to play games that I know I don't like. Like once you've played something and you've decided you don't like it, you don't have to play that game anymore. It's like you say, babe, you can go and do something else.
Yeah.
You guys play it, and I will play my Steam Deck.
My answer is I can go and drink. That's my answer. Is I can just go and drink. You guys want to play some shit? We don't have
I'll
to
just
play to
drink
hang out.
alone. I'll drink alone in the corner somewhere.
That's right. Fucking, I'll dream of better days. I'll dream of my youth when we actually played Catan in the fields. But now I got to play this bullshit ass Euro.
All right, let's end it on that note. So we can. I don't want to talk about Catan. Let's end it there.
Oh, okay. So, like, before we end it, no, what I'm basically saying is if you're going to, the only spot you could really put me in is if we're in the middle of the game, right? And when somebody decides they want to eat dinner, or they decide, well, can we finish this round and, let's go out for dinner or let's take a break or whatever, they always put me on the spot because I'm going to want to finish the game. I'm going to want to starve and finish the fucking game.
Really?
Yeah. I don't want to play halfway through a game, especially if we didn't discuss it before. If we're halfway through the game and you decide, hey, this game's taking too long, can we stop and go eat dinner or whatever? Like, that fucks up the whole goddamn thing.
Yeah.
Like, let's just order. Let's order food and let's continue. Like,
That's a
but
weird
you
thing
put
to
me on the
do.
spot. But you put me on the spot because I'm with everybody else, and everybody else feels the same way except for me.
Yeah, that does put me on the spot. I don't like feeling like everyone's wants to do one thing, and then I'm like, oh, okay.
You
I guess I have to
reluctantly
agree.
do it, or do you just be like a dick?
I
No, we got to
reluctantly
finish
go
this.
with the group. I'm a going with the group person. Like if the whole group's decided they want to go have dinner, then of course I'm not gonna make them stay when when everyone's hungry. We're like, all right,
Force
fine.
them. Force them.
I don't do that.
Force. Fucking make it. I brought snacks for you guys in case this shit happens.
Oh man,
I'll give you guys carrots.
I bet
Eat
you had
fucking
way
carrots.
too many snacks. I bet you had way too many snacks. Like when we went to Cloudcroft and there was
Fucking
more
so many
snacks than
goddamn-
anyone could have eaten in a lifetime.
There was
so
more
many
snacks than games, and there was more games than we would have played in a month.
I felt low key like proud of myself because the Tim
You mean
Tams
low-key-
were like the first to go.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say you felt like low key judgy. What snacks are they eating? Yep.
No,
I knew they're
because
gonna eat those.
I tell you what, I would have been more than low key judgy. I would have been like outwardly judgy if everyone ate all the snacks because of how many snacks there were. But no one barely even touched the snacks because there was no way you could even make inroads into the snacks. The snacks.
Yeah, but
so many
but
snacks.
also we were so close to the
To the shops anyway.
Yeah,
so
the
we
shops.
just kept getting more snacks.
Yeah, you'd go to the
Put 'em on
shop.
put 'em on the other snacks.
Oh, but the bread, the fucking Hatch chili bread.
Yeah.
You know,
That
shit
now
like
that we ate. That we ate.
And
And that's
bring
why
it
we
back.
didn't eat snacks because I was too busy eating all the bread. Oh my
Yeah.
god. So funny. It's so funny. I'm like, why are we getting more snacks? Like we can't eat all the snacks that we have. No one's eating the snacks that we have.
Oh, who's going to town?
Okay.
Bring some more snacks.
Let's go
Please bring some more snacks.
Get more snacks.
There was a lot of snacks. There might be still.
And then you have
Up
to
until
take them all
recently-
back home.
Up until recently, there were still snacks from that trip in the pantry.
Yeah.
Like the s'more stuff,
Yeah.
the stacks of chocolate and shit. Those were all still there. Finally,
Yeah.
I think the
and then
kids
we got
into
them
'em.
those friggin' sodas.
Oh yeah.
The buffalo wing soda and the ranch soda. The
Nasty
ranch
soda.
soda was rank.
Oh
That was
man,
horrible.
those sodas were gross.
Oh, I couldn't do that one. But the buffalo wing one, that was okay.
You're always gonna talk about the.
Remember, you
I'm
made me finish it. You're like, if you like it, you can finish it. I'm like, I don't
You're
like
like,
it that
okay.
much, but all right, I'll finish it.
When I make a trip to Australia, you're getting like a 6-pack of buffalo wings.
No.
Yeah,
Not
totally.
doing it.
All right, I guess we can.
All right.
You're gonna play Catan and drink buffalo wing soda.
It's my ideal night.
Sounds like a good night. All right, well let
We
me.
do that for my birthday.
How do you turn? My watch has to tell me how to turn this damn thing off.
I want to meet or watch one day. What's their name?